Hi guys, I'm Emily.
And I'm Kellen.
And here we are at our local farmers market. Now lots of people have been asking us what makes our pie so special, and one of the main things is the perfect pie crust. Now Kellen has agreed to let us in on some secrets on how to make it.
Follow us into the kitchen and we'll get started.
All right, first up, here we go. All right, we're going to want to go ahead and start today with the perfect pie crust using 2 cups of sifted flour. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up, I like to add a little bit of salt, teaspoon, kind of gives it the nice savory flavor to the pastry there. All right. Next up, we like to do something a little bit different. We add some sugar to our pastry. That's 2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons.
Of sugar. All right. And last up, we like to give our pastry a little bit of a zing. So we're going to add just a dusting of fresh cinnamon. 1/8 of a teaspoon there. Should be just right, give or take. So we're going to go ahead and blend all these dry ingredients together. I'm going to have Emily get started on doing that. Next up, we're going to go ahead and grab our butter. It's very important that you keep this butter as cold as possible, almost to a point of freezing. The reason why we're going to go ahead and do this is because the colder the butter that we're working with, the more flaky that pie pastry is going to be. I'm going to go ahead and cube up this butter into little tiny squares here, as so. This will make it easier for us to blend in with the rest of the dry ingredients. We're not using Crisco, shortening, anything like that. This is a pie pastry blender. If you don't have one of these, you can grab 2 butter knives and kind of go in a Edward Scissorhands motion and blend that together. We're going to work in a circular motion like this, spinning the bowl around. And what you're looking for here is getting a nice kind of crumbled look here.
It smells really good.
It does. That's my favorite smell indeed. Never get tired of it. How does that look, Em?
That looks perfect.
Next step, we're going to add the water to our pastry here. Like the butter, we want to keep the water extremely cold, almost to a point of freezing. We're going to add a total of about 5 to 6 tablespoons of water, working 1 tablespoon at a time. The reason we do this is because if you add too much, you can never backpedal. All right, let's start with 1 and 2. At this point, you can start using what God gave you here. Start adding some more. This will be our 3rd tablespoon of water. Just working it between your fingers. A little bit more there, Emily. Yes,
so that's 4.
This is 4 here. And go ahead and add 1 more, 5. All right, perfect. We'll see how that goes. May have to add just a touch more water. But before we do that, this is an excellent opportunity for me to bring up different things that you can add to your pastry to increase that flakiness. Some things that we like to use is fresh lemon juice, just a touch of apple cider vinegar. Lemoncats likes to use something a little bit different. Unfortunately, it is a secret. Go ahead and add that in.
Go for it.
All right, we're all good there. Thanks a lot, my honey.
Oh,
all right. Finish up, and just that last little bit of teaspoon for us of our special. Perfect. Bring that together. You mind go ahead and taking that away for me there?
Sure.
All right, now that we have our pastry made here, we're going to go ahead and split it into 2. Do a top and bottom crust here. We're going to put it into 2 little balls here.
He is the crust expert.
All right, perfect. Next up, we're going to want to go ahead and wrap each one of these. We don't want the pastry to dry out while we keep it chilled in the fridge. We're going to want to chill these pastry balls here for anywhere from a ½ hour to an hour, preferably overnight if you can. Before we stick it in the fridge there, we're going to want to go ahead and mash them down into a nice disc there.
If you don't do this part, it's really hard to roll out after. So
go ahead and stick these in the fridge now, and we'll come back in about a ½ hour to an hour, and we'll roll out the rest of the pastry. Grab that pastry out of the fridge now, guys. Go ahead now, and we want to flour our board here.
Tell me how much you want.
All right. So roughly about a £1/4 cup kind of sprinkled around. So we're going to put that down there. Also want to go ahead and...
Hey, that's my job.
Now we're all ready. We're going to go ahead and start rolling out this guy, okay? As long as it's cold, you'll be okay. All right, so we're going to start working it out. Be nice and gentle with it. You don't want to put down too much force and cause the pastry to split. So as we're rolling out here, I like to kind of spin it around, keep a nice uniform disc. We're going to roll this out to about 12 to 13 inches. We're going to be using a 9-inch pie tin with a 1-inch overhang. So we're almost there, guys. That looks good. Yeah, I like it. That's perfect. Now the trick that I use here to figuring out the correct size, so I like to put down the pie tin like so. You hand me the pastry wheel. Another essential tool to have in the kitchen while you're baking is a little pastry wheel. like I said before, we want a 1-inch overhang. So we're gonna go about out like that. Come around. See, this is why it's nice to have the pastry wheel, because I can come around. It's pretty much, you know what you could use too, is a pizza slicer. That works great as well. A nice 1-inch overhang. That's great.
Perfect.
So now that we have that top, or the bottom done, we're gonna go ahead and set that to the side.
Okay, so now that we're done rolling out the top of the pie, it's ready to cut this and make it all come together.
Yeah, well, exactly. So we're gonna just cut this one just as we did with the one previously. I do like to make the top one slightly bigger, and you'll see why. So now we have our tops and bottoms here. Looking good, look at that, perfect. We're gonna lay the bottom in here. We want that pastry nice and flush against the pan so there's no air bubbles. Go ahead and fill that filling there. Perfect. Excellent. I'm gonna grab top here. This is a crucial step. I'm going to teach you guys how to crimp the pie and create an awesome seal so none of those juices come out of there. I want a little bit of juice, but not at the sides. What I like to do personally is we have the two flaps here, all right? See how that top one's slightly larger there? That's what we're looking for, a little bit larger. So we're going to grab it and just tuck and roll. Kind of like stop, drop, tuck and roll. Except this pie,
No one's in danger.
no one's in danger today. So as we're kind of spinning it around, we're getting a nice, almost like a braid as we come around here, and you're tucking it. You're creating that seal right there.
So what I make is the egg wash. Just a regular egg. We just like to use a whole egg, full. And then you want to whisk it up.
The egg wash is essential because we're going to get that nice golden look to the crust there. So we're going to baste it on top of there, and when it comes out of the oven, it's going to look just nice and beautiful.
And pretty.
And pretty. Have a nice little glaze on there.
Then I have about 2 tablespoons of water.
Grab a little refresher. We are ready. Okay. I always resort to Emily for my egg wash. She is just the connoisseur of egg wash.
It's my claim to fame. You just want to make sure you get it all around the edges.
Now before we go ahead and put this guy in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and grab a knife here and make sure we cut some vent holes so the pie can breathe. Just a couple little vent holes here, not much. As you can see, looks nice there. Okay. We're going to go ahead and set that oven to 425. Right, we're going to stick this little guy in there about 20 minutes. And then we're going to reduce that down to 375 after 20 minutes. And then we'll check it out after that, all right? See you guys soon.
See you later.
Oh, baby, looking good. Check this out, Emmy.
Oh, that smells good.
Betcha. We're right on. There you have it, folks. The perfect pastry with the perfect pie with Lemoncats Bakery.
Thanks for joining us for our little tutorial today.
Yeah, it's been fun, guys. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, share all your stories of making pie, and even check us out on Instagram, #Lemoncats Bakery. Let us see your pictures of the perfect pie. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.